More than 1,400 years ago, two superpowers dominated the known world. To the west stood the mighty Byzantine Empire. To the east stood the powerful Sassanid Persian Empire. For centuries, these empires had fought devastating wars against one another. Their armies numbered in the hundreds of thousands. Their rulers commanded vast territories stretching across 3 continents. Yet within a single generation, both empires would be shattered by forces emerging from the deserts of Arabia. At the center of this astonishing story stood one man, a warrior, a strategist, a commander who never lost a battle. His name was Khalid ibn al-Walid. But before he became known as the Sword of Allah, he was one of Islam's most determined enemies. And his story begins in the city of Mecca. Around the year 592 AD, Khalid was born into the powerful Banu Maksum clan of the Quraysh tribe. The Quraysh were the rulers of Mecca and guardians of the Kaaba. Khalid's family was known for producing warriors and military leaders. From an early age, he was trained for war. He learned how to ride horses across the harsh Arabian desert. He mastered the spear. He became skilled with the sword. And as he grew older, his talent for leadership became obvious. Nobody could have imagined that this young warrior would one day become one of the most famous generals in history. Meanwhile, another man from Mecca was changing Arabia forever. His name was Muhammad. When Muhammad began preaching the worship of one God, many leaders of Quraysh saw his message as a threat. Among the opponents of Islam was Khalid ibn al-Walid. For years, he fought against the Muslims. Then came one of the most important battles in early Islamic history, the Battle of Uhud. In 625 AD, Muslim and Quraysh armies met near Mount Uhud. At first, the Muslims appeared to be winning. The Quraysh lines began to collapse. Victory seemed certain. Then something unexpected happened. A group of Muslim archers abandoned their assigned positions. They believed the battle was already over. Khalid immediately recognized the opportunity. Leading a cavalry force, he rode around the mountain and attacked from behind. The battlefield descended into chaos. The Muslims suddenly found themselves trapped. What looked like victory became a painful defeat. Many Muslims lost their lives. And the man responsible for turning the battle around was Khalid ibn al-Walid. At that moment, he remained one of Islam's fiercest enemies. But destiny had other plans. Over the next few years, the balance of power in Arabia began to change. The Muslims continued to grow stronger. Tribes entered alliances with Muhammad. Even some of Islam's former enemies began reconsidering their position. Khalid watched these events carefully. The more he observed, the more convinced he became that Muhammad was speaking the truth. Finally, around the year 629 AD, Khalid made a decision that shocked Arabia. He traveled to Medina. He met the Prophet Muhammad, and he accepted Islam. The warrior who once fought against Islam had become one of its followers. The Prophet welcomed him warmly. Soon, Khalid would prove his loyalty on the battlefield. Not long after his conversion, Muslim forces marched north toward the Byzantine frontier. Near the town of Muta, they encountered a powerful enemy army. The Muslim force was vastly outnumbered. One after another, the Muslim commanders fell. The army was on the brink of destruction. Then Khalid took command. He reorganized the troops. He launched calculated counterattacks. He created the illusion of reinforcements arriving, and through brilliant leadership, he saved the army from annihilation. When news reached Medina, the Prophet Muhammad gave Khalid a title that would follow him for the rest of his life: Sayf Allah, the Sword of Allah. Three years later, tragedy struck. In 632 AD, the Prophet Muhammad passed away. Across Arabia, tribes began rebelling. Some refused to pay taxes. Others abandoned Islam entirely. The young Muslim state seemed on the verge of collapse. The first caliph, Abu Bakr, needed a commander capable of restoring order. He turned to Khalid. What followed became known as the Ridda Wars. Khalid moved swiftly across Arabia. One rebellion after another was defeated. Tribes returned to the Muslim community. The Arabian Peninsula was reunited. Without these victories, the early Islamic State might not have survived. But Abu Bakr had even bigger plans. Beyond Arabia lay the two greatest powers on earth, the Persian Empire and the Byzantine Empire. Khalid was first sent toward Iraq, then part of the mighty Persian Empire. The Persians had ruled these lands for centuries. Their armies were experienced, their resources were vast. Yet battle after battle, Khalid achieved victory. His speed surprised his enemies. His tactics confused them. His soldiers trusted him completely. Cities fell. Persian commanders were defeated. The impossible was becoming reality. Then a message arrived from Abu Bakr. A much greater challenge awaited in Syria. The Byzantine Empire was gathering a massive army. Khalid was needed immediately. The journey that followed became legendary. Rather than taking the normal route, Khalid chose a path through one of the harshest deserts in the region. Many believed such a march was impossible. Water was scarce. Temperatures were brutal. Death seemed certain. Yet Khalid pressed forward. His army crossed terrain that few dared enter. When they finally emerged in Syria, the Byzantines were stunned. They had never expected an army to appear from that direction. Khalid's arrival completely transformed the war. Victory followed victory. The Muslim armies advanced deeper into Byzantine territory, but the greatest battle was still ahead. One of the most decisive battles in world history. In 636 AD, Muslim and Byzantine forces gathered near the Yarmouk River. The Byzantine army was enormous. Veteran soldiers from across the empire filled the battlefield. The future of the region hung in the balance. If the Muslims lost, years of victories could disappear overnight. Khalid took command. For 6 days, fierce fighting raged. Dust filled the air. Cavalry charges thundered across the battlefield. Again and again, Khalid repositioned his troops. Again and again, he prevented enemy breakthroughs. Then came the decisive moment. Khalid launched a massive cavalry attack against the Byzantine flank. The Byzantine lines collapsed. Panic spread. Thousands fled. The battle was over. Yarmouk changed history. The Byzantine Empire never fully recovered its position in Syria, and Khalid's reputation reached legendary status. Yet despite all his victories, an unexpected development soon followed. The Caliph Abu Bakr died. A new leader took power. Umar ibn al-Khattab. Respected Khalid deeply, but he feared that people were beginning to place too much faith in Khalid rather than in God, so he made a surprising decision. He removed Khalid from command. Many warriors would have been furious. Many generals would have rebelled, but Khalid did neither. He accepted the decision without complaint. He continued serving under other commanders. For him, the mission was more important than personal glory. Years passed. The man who had spent his life on battlefields eventually settled in the city of Homs in Syria. There he reflected on his extraordinary life. One day, Khalid reportedly looked at his body. It was covered in scars. Scars from swords. Scars from spears. Scars from arrows. There was hardly a place on his body untouched by battle. Yet despite surviving countless wars, he realized something remarkable. He was not going to die on the battlefield. Around the year 642 AD, Khalid ibn al-Walid died peacefully in his bed. According to tradition, this saddened him. He had spent his entire life facing death in combat. Yet he passed away naturally. But death could not erase his legacy. Today, Khalid ibn al-Walid remains one of the most celebrated military commanders in history. He fought against Islam and then became one of its greatest defenders. He helped unite Arabia. He defeated powerful enemies. He led armies against two of the world's greatest empires. And throughout his military career, he never suffered a decisive defeat. More than 14 centuries later, historians still study his campaigns. Soldiers still admire his leadership, and millions remember the man known as Sayf Allah, the Sword of Allah.